Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Brown Baldy, coming in again with a new reaction to a new video by The Critical Drinker. This one is called Crash and Burn, the Amber Heard Story. Whew. I think all of us know about Amber Heard, but I love the perspective of the drinker. The way he just... he probably has a very special way on how he's going to narrow everything down, and I just love the way he does it. It's very funny, very creative in his own way, and I want to see what he has to say. Okay, so as you see, The Critical Drinker, do not forget to go to his channel, support, subscribe to him. Don't forget, this is his video. I am simply reacting. With that being said, let's look up the story right here. Crash and Burn, the Amber Heard Story. It came out yesterday. Wanted to do it yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to. But I'm here now.
Oh, come on, you knew I was going to have to cover this eventually. No list of self-imposed celebrity meltdowns would be complete without talking about Amber's turd. Possibly the most disastrous series of unforced errors, performative victimhood, bad acting, and overestimating one's own cultural power that Hollywood's ever seen. And that's saying something, believe me. A one-time it girl who seemed to have it all. A growing celebrity profile, juicy film roles in big franchises, brand deals, and most importantly, a famous husband she could exploit for her own gain. Unfortunately, all those red carpet smiles and elegant dresses were hiding a dark personal life of abuse, lies, manipulation, and an insatiable hunger for power and control. Someone who...
Yeah, honestly, the story about Amber Heard is... it's really wow. Like everything that happened, the court, with Johnny Depp, it's just wow. Like, damn. And I actually really liked her as maybe not as an actress. She wasn't the best. I'll be the first one to admit that she was probably a lot more prettier than she was talented. But I liked her. I thought she was pretty cool. I like the way she looked. She did a decent job as Mira in Aquaman. But besides that, it just really sucks everything that happened, and how some of these people can be just so unhinged. But anyways,
tried to weaponize the media, modern culture, and even the justice system against one of the biggest and most popular movie stars of all time, only to have it blow up in her face in the most spectacular way possible. So let us examine the not-so-tragic crash and burn of Amber Heard. Amber was born in 1986 in Austin, Texas, the second of 3 children, and by all accounts she had a pretty normal childhood. She rode horses, hunted and fished with her dad, and competed in local beauty pageants, something she'd disown in later life as exploitative and horrible. Funny how that works, isn't it? Anyway, like a million other attractive young women with aspirations for bigger things, Amber made the move to California at 18 to pursue an acting career. The usual round of bit parts and minor roles in TV shows and movies followed, but 2006 would see her first starring role in the slasher movie All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. The film wouldn't get a proper release until years later, but it caused a bit of a stir in film festival circles, and it helped to put Amber Heard on the map. 2008 was when she first started to attract mainstream attention with supporting roles in Pineapple Express and the martial arts drama Never Back Down.
Oh yeah, Never Back Down. That is the first time I saw Amber Heard, and I just thought, that's a pretty blonde right there. But it's funny how things just ended up, huh?
Exactly an all-time classic, but never mind. Attractive and just talented enough to hold her own against major players, she was now booking bigger roles, but mostly in low-budget slop like Exterminators, The Stepfather, and The Wards. It was also around this time that she came out as gay, or bisexual, or I don't know, something. Even Amber herself seemed to be pretty vague about the whole thing, saying, "I don't label myself one way or the other." Well, that's helpful. Anyway, the point is she dated female photographer Tazia Van Ree for a couple of years, and this is where the first warning signs appeared when Amber was arrested at an airport in Washington for assault against Van Ree. She would later claim that she was wrongfully accused and the officer who arrested her was homophobic, which is kind of interesting because the officer in question was a lesbian. Ah well, whatever. The incident was quickly swept under the rug, as such things often are, and Amber was able to tackle the bigger problem of how to make the leap from trashy horror movies to mainstream success. What she really needed was something, or someone, to take her career to the next level.
For real.
Enter Johnny Depp. The two of them met on the set of The Rum Diary and started dating soon afterwards. Yeah, he was 23 years her senior, but what the fuck? When you're a struggling young actress trying to make a dent in the industry and Captain Jack Sparrow shows an interest in you, you thank your lucky stars and milk that shit for all it's worth.
Dude, for real, like, I'm just saying, I was a young girl and Johnny Depp coming to me, showing an interest in me, I'm just saying, like, damn, I guess I'm gonna be Mrs. Depp from now on. But that's just me, man.
The two were married by 2015, which funnily enough seemed to coincide with a sudden upswing in Amber's career and public image. Now she was booking roles in major franchise vehicles like Justice League and Aquaman. She was on magazine covers and commercials. She and Johnny were regulars at premieres and film festivals together. But behind the scenes, things were unravelling fast. Her marriage to Depp had been stormy and volatile for years, and by 2016, Amber filed for divorce and a restraining order, accusing him of physical and emotional abuse. The two eventually reached a settlement that landed Amber a hefty sum of $7 million, which she pledged to donate entirely to charity. Golly gee whiz, that was nice of you, Amber. Keep it in mind though, because it's going to be important shortly. For now at least though, Amber was still on top of the world. She'd managed to paint herself as a brave victim speaking up against a powerful and abusive man. She'd landed a neat little payout that had padded her bank balance and gotten the entire entertainment media complex to back her up. Because of course they would, it was 2017. While Johnny found himself blacklisted and dropped from major film projects, Amber's career was going from strength to strength. She'd co-starred in her first billion-dollar movie, although to this day I've got no fucking idea how that happened, and she was poised to make the leap to the Hollywood A-list. Yeah, she wasn't really a movie star, but she had the looks and the glamour and the momentum to at least create the image of one. All she had to do now was shut the fuck up, maintain a dignified silence about her divorce, and enjoy the fruits of her success.
No.
Yeah, that's not how it works, baby. That's not how it works.
Yeah, so that didn't happen. For reasons best known only to herself, Amber decided to stir up controversy all over again by writing a 2018 op-ed for the Washington Post, where she once again tried to paint herself as a helpless victim, getting raked over the coals for speaking up about the abuse she'd suffered.
What, are you retarded?
She'd already won both the legal and the PR victory, but she just couldn't help herself, it seemed. This op-ed would turn out to be a bridge too far for Amber. To say that Johnny Depp was tired of her shit would be the understatement of the decade, and before you could say, "You might have overplayed your hand here, love," he'd launched a major defamation lawsuit against her, accusing her not just of lying and falsifying police reports, but of being the real abuser in the relationship. Claims and counterclaims were flying around like angry hornets, and the atmosphere was explosive when the case finally went to trial in 2022. Amber strode into the courtroom expecting another easy victory. After all, she'd won against him before, the media were still firmly on her side, and she was all set to paint herself as the brave young woman standing up to the patriarchy. Unfortunately for her, things were different this time. Not only had Johnny brought the receipts this time, but Amber soon became caught up in the very web of lies that she'd spent so long spinning. Like, remember that $7 million from the divorce settlement that she promised to donate to charity because it wasn't about the money for me?
Shite. Oh yes, that's shite.
Yeah, so that never happened, and it turns out she'd kept every penny for herself.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.
Oh my goodness, who could have predicted it? The evidence of the years of abuse she'd inflicted on Depp was mounting up too. A recorded phone conversation showed her gloating about how she could make up anything she wanted and everyone would believe her because she was a woman. Then there was the stuff that was just downright disturbing and weird, like Amber admitting she'd hit him but claiming that it was okay because it was a slap instead of a punch. Yeah, imagine if a guy had said something like that. Or taking a shit on Johnny's bed out of pure spite and revenge. And in that moment, dear viewer, a million internet memes were born. She was still doing her level best to paint herself as a brave victim.
What was the meme? Amber Turd? Dude.
and speaking truth to power. The problem was that nobody was buying it anymore. Her testimonies came off as forced, rehearsed and unconvincing, riddled with more contradictions and inconsistencies than a Zack Snyder script, and people were beginning to see her for what she actually was, a not particularly talented actress playing the role of a victim instead of actually being one. Now, for the record, I certainly don't think that Johnny Depp was some innocent, blameless saint in all of this shit either. The man clearly has his own demons that he's been wrestling with for most of his life, and a long list of well-publicized meltdowns. I've got no...
Yeah, in fairness, there's no way Johnny Depp is not screwed up in some way or form, especially, being such a talented actor. In the roles he embraced. One of his most underrated roles would be in the movie Black Mass. Dude, straight up evil and creepy in that one. Damn, dude. He definitely se sacó el dedo. But, yeah. But he wasn't the one doing all this. Like, it was really, Amber, on the other hand, she was the one that was actually the most crazy. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he did something, though in comparison it was probably very minimal. Because like I said, there's no way Johnny Depp is not a little chisqueado. But anyways.
No doubt they both brought toxic behavior into the marriage, but the difference...
Yeah, like you said, like ultimately, let's say maybe Johnny Depp did nothing wrong, which part of me does believe it. The fact that there's no way that you can't... Everything she did, there is no way you can't pick up on those signs early in the relationship. But sometimes as men, we tend to let our little head do most of our thinking, and it's just the way it is. Sometimes we do the best we can in spite of our weaknesses.
is that Depp was always honest about his personal failings. Amber was not. More than that though, people actually liked Johnny Depp. He was popular, he'd been around forever, and he'd built up the kind of cultural goodwill that Amber could never hope to equal. The more the trial dragged on, the more public opinion swung away from Amber and towards Johnny, and by the time the verdict was read out on June 1st, it was pretty obvious how things were gonna go. Johnny was awarded a total of $15 million in damages, but for Amber, the reputational damage was way worse. Film roles dried up overnight, her part in the upcoming Aquaman sequel was shaved down to the briefest of cameos, and she was abandoned by almost everyone who'd supported her. There's only one thing Hollywood producers hate more than difficult actors, and that's liabilities. The one-time darling of Hollywood, the brave activist and the rising movie star had become so toxic and radioactive that nobody in their right mind would go near her. It wasn't just a career meltdown, it was a full-scale career obliteration. Johnny Depp had taken off and nuked Amber's entire site from orbit, because at the end of the day, it's the only way to be sure. And who can blame him, really? The shit she pulled probably took 5 years off his career and cost him tens of millions of dollars in lost earnings.
For sure.
It was the vindication and the redemption arc that everyone had been waiting for, and by all accounts, Johnny Depp has been rehabilitated by Hollywood, and there he is now, back on the red carpets and the film festivals. He's even in talks to star in another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, because let's be honest here, Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow is Pirates of the Caribbean. Sorry Margot, but when it comes to Pirates movies, you ain't it, darling. And what's of Amber, you might ask?
No offense.
Well, in the wake of the verdict, she fled to Europe under a new identity, and for the past couple of years, she's been working on the next chapter of her life. Whatever the fuck that means, considering she hasn't been in anything since 2023 and there's no plans for any upcoming projects. I suspect her next chapter is going to consist mostly of vacation time and reflecting on the sheer enormity of her fuck up. For a few years, Amber Heard really did have it all, only to let it slip through her fingers. She tried to play the fame game in the worst way possible, weaponizing performative victimhood and a culture of believe every single accusation even without a shred of evidence for her own personal gain. And when she was called out for her bullshit, she didn't have the acting skills, the likability, or the sheer popularity to lie her way out of it. Her crash and burn might be one of the most spectacular of all time, and let's be honest here, one of the most well-deserved. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Okay, so that was Crash and Burn, the Amber Heard story by The Critical Drinker. Do not forget again to go to his channel, subscribe, and support. But anyways, yes, that was quite the video. Honestly, we all knew the story. And Yeah, as far as I know, Amber Heard just kind of like walked away from everything, which is probably like the best thing she could have done. I don't see her bouncing back from this because what she did was just that messed up. And if anything, what would be the takeaway from all this? Obviously, don't do what she did, obviously, right? Don't be that kind of person. But if you are, or if you do, because sometimes life takes us through unexpected journeys, and sometimes, not trying to excuse it, but life is life, and sometimes we do the best we can with what we have. And sometimes it's not always the best thing, but we do what we can. We all want to believe that we will never do something, but we never know until we're actually in that situation. But anyways, my point is, the main takeaway, besides the obvious not to be doing those things, the main takeaway would be learn to quit while you're ahead. For sure, because like he put it in there in that video. She won, everything was good, but she just couldn't keep her mouth shut. At some point, the people that you scorn will eventually want some payback. And someone with the power and resources as Johnny Depp, not to mention the likability and popularity that he already had that was leagues above hers, just gave him what he needed, to get people on his side and see the truth. Like how he said, if she would have just shut up, she would have been fine with a decent victory and just kept on doing movie roles and whatever. She would have been fine, but she just couldn't. Sometimes people, they don't know how to just, quit while they're ahead. And that would be the main takeaway. If you're ahead at something, quit while you're ahead. Simple as that. Be a little humble and just enjoy the fruits of your labor, even if they were ill-gotten. And just learn to be humble and just shut up. Like, seriously. But anyways, that was my reaction. If you liked it, if you have it in you, please do me a favor. Give me a like and subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Help out your bro. This is your boy Brown Baldy. Thank you so much for joining me. And you'll have a good rest of your day. And you all take care.